Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of the Chosen One's Star Wars podcast here on Game Domain. As always, I'm your host, Jason, joined by my co-host, Captain.
Hello.
And all right, so last week we brought you guys out each of our top 5 favorite Star Wars characters, so more of a personal episode like we did back in episode 2 of the podcast where we gave you our rankings of the movies. Basically, for the past 2 months straight, we've just been reviewing Clone Wars episodes. So now we're going to just be doing some more other personal videos like we did last week of, our own personal Star Wars rankings, as well as bringing you guys some Star Wars news that has, come out as of late. And so this episode, we are bringing you guys all things Disney Plus. Star Wars on Disney Plus. Obviously, Disney Plus has 4 categories when you load into the home screen. Star Wars is one of them, being one of Disney's biggest entities that they own. Obviously, they purchased Lucasfilm back in 2012 for $4 billion, and they made that money back based off of The Force Awakens merchandise, probably alone, I'd assume. And so Disney Plus is going to be a big medium for Star Wars content moving forward. So far on there, now we have all of the Skywalker saga movies on there, with the exception of Solo, which is, a spin-off anthology movie like Rogue One. But Solo is still under licensing deal with Netflix until July, I believe. So then,
Wow.
in July of this year, we will have Solo on Disney Plus. So then every single Star Wars movie ever made will be on Disney Plus, as well as all of the TV shows, Rebels, Clone Wars. We just got Clone Wars season 7 released weekly on Disney Plus, and the live action hit The Mandalorian, which took the whole world by storm, especially with Baby Yoda. And then we all, then there's also some of the other spin-off stuff, Droid Tales, which is actually pretty hilarious. Just a couple episodes of Anthony Daniels voicing C-3PO, telling the story of all the other movies in a Lego Star Wars fashion. So there's a lot of Star Wars content on Disney Plus now, but there's a lot that's going to be on there moving forward. Most of all of this is just rumors as of now, but there are a lot of credible rumors. As of right now, the only series that we have confirmed by Disney that are to be happening on Disney Plus is The Mandalorian season 2, which we're supposed to be getting in October, so that'll run likely through October to the end of November, possibly into mid-December. Then we have a Cassian Andor series, the main male protagonist in Rogue One. So that's supposed to take place in between episode 3 and 4. Nobody's really sure about the timeline or any specifics on that, but Diego Luna, the actor who played Cassian Andor in Rogue One, he's coming back to be Cassian in this series, and that series is supposed to start filming later this year, I believe. And then it's supposed to come out next year. And then, of course, we have the famed Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which is supposed to be coming out in 2022. There's a lot of rumors circulating about that, so we'll get to that when we talk about that later in the show. And then we also have confirmation of, I can't remember the director or the writer's name, but we have confirmation of her being the head of a female-centric series, which has also been linked to rumors that we will discuss later when we discuss that series. And then we also have rumors of a new Rebels spin-off series that could tie into season 2 of The Mandalorian. And so we're going to basically just go one by one through all of these different show rumors and discuss all of the different things that we've heard about them and what we think and how they could turn out. And so first we're going to start off with the only thing that we have confirmed as of now, officially, which is that The Mandalorian Season 2 is coming out in October 2020. The Mandalorian Season 2 is already filmed. Now it's in the editing stage. I think they finished up filming in mid to late March. Luckily, they were able to get that done before the whole all of this craziness hit. So we weren't. So thank God that Mandalorian season 2 wasn't going to end up being delayed because of this. But so there's a lot of rumors that are circulating around about people being cast in the Mandalorian season 2. Obviously, we know that it's already filmed, so anybody who was cast in this has already been in it. But the casting list, isn't really made official by Disney until after everything's filmed, and then they start releasing people who were cast in the movie. So we're just gonna kind of list off one by one people who were cast. And it kind of the casting list that we've gotten so far for season 2, outside of the returning characters, other canon characters that are coming in to have a live action appearance in Mandalorian season 2. They've been linked to maybe a spin-off animation series that has the Clone Wars animation style, but is a Rebel spin-off series sometime down the line, maybe a year or two from now. We don't know where that is in production or if it's actually happening, but these castings certainly lead us to believe that. And so some season 2 castings that we have gotten is Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, her first live action appearance. Temieura Morrison as who has of course played Jango Fett, the clone template. So any live action clone has been his voice and him. And also back in the special edition, they redubbed Boba Fett, who obviously is a clone. They redubbed his voice with Temieura Morrison. So he's back to be playing Rex and Boba Fett, apparently. Just all rumors. Sabine Wren, a lady who looks like Sabine Wren. I can't remember the name right now, but she was cast, and people think that she's going to be Sabine. Has the same look, same voice type.
Which would be interesting.
Yeah, and then because we know how Grandma. Why can't I remember the Gideon? I was about to say Grand Moff Tarkin. Moff Gideon. He had the Darksaber at that, and then he had to have gotten that from Sabine. So maybe Sabine is coming back to claim.
No. If you watch the Clone Wars, she eventually I'm pretty sure it's in the episode. But if you watch Rebels, I'm pretty sure she gives it away. She finally found because she doesn't want to lead. She doesn't want the power of the Darksaber, which is to lead Mandalore. So I'm pretty sure she's trying to find someone, and then can't remember if she does actually eventually give it away before she goes back to joining the Ghost Crew, but.
Yeah.
Yes, I just watched them all like last week. So.
And
25-year-old man here just finished watching a kids cartoon.
And then Katee Sackhoff. I mean, hey, we just spent 2 months straight reviewing the Clone Wars. So and then Katee Sackhoff, who's the voice of Bo-Katan in her Clone Wars and Rebels iterations, she is casted in a live action role. The look of the character Bo-Katan was based off of her real life look, so she will be able to pull that off pretty nicely.
I can't remember who Bo-Katan is.
Bo-Katan is the one who also has. Oh no, Bo-Katan. That Sabine gave the Darksaber to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is Duchess Satine's sister. Yeah, Duchess Satine's sister. So Obi-Wan Kenobi's sister-in-law, basically. But she is.
Wait a minute, she might be in it.
Yeah, so she's in it. So now I take that back. She had the Darksaber last off, because now that I think of that, Sabine gave it to Bo-Katan. So Bo-Katan somehow down the line lost it to Moff Gideon. But so Bo-Katan is cast in this as well. And then one that we literally just got a few days ago is Timothy Oliphant. He's like a Western movie type actor. Gunslinger. And he is being cast as this character Cobb Vanth. Most of you guys probably don't really know who Cobb Vanth is, to be honest. I didn't really know who he was either, but he was in the Aftermath book series, and he's the self-appointed sheriff of a Tatooine-based settlement that he calls Freetown. And he has Boba Fett's armor somehow, apparently, or he's a mimic of Boba Fett, a copycat. So he is going to be wearing Boba Fett's armor, but obviously isn't the actual Boba Fett. And so then people are thinking that he was the one who showed up at the end of episode 5, that episode on Tatooine, when I can't remember the name of that girl bounty hunter who got shot. But when she's just laying on the ground at the end of the episode 5 of season 1 of The Mandalorian, and like the guy with the Boba Fett strut boots walks in, and everybody thought that was Boba Fett. But so this could be this Cobb Vanth guy, because we know he is still residing on Tatooine. Obviously, we know Boba Fett should be on Tatooine as well, because he is stuck in the being devoured by the Sarlacc pit for 1,000 years or however long it takes.
Also, real quick, just so people don't bitch at us and call us out in the comments, Timothy Oliphant also played Agent 47 in the first Hitman movie.
So he has a lot of action, gunslinger type roles. And so all right, so Captain, you want to give some of your thoughts on some of these castings, where you think they could take this, what the impact on the like Mando and Baby Yoda is, and Cara Dune and all those characters is with all these new castings?
Well, first things first, I hope that they do not age up Baby Yoda to be like a teenage size. Baby Yoda now.
No. You gotta just take it the same.
Yeah, I don't want the Mandalorian and a Baby Yoda having some sort of teenage rom-com drama. Something going on like, oh, you're not my dad and stuff like that. I don't want any of that going on. Okay.
Just keep him not talking, not knowing, casually using the Force.
I would have no problem if he speaks, okay, because he's 50 years old, and you see through his like actions, he's a lot wiser and a lot. He just doesn't speak.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm guessing it's by choice, especially when he's drinking the tea after the two bounty hunters have a fight with each other, the drop trooper and he just drinks the tea and he's like looking at him like I'm 50 years old and I'm this big and I've got to deal with this shit. So I wouldn't mind if they made him a bit bigger because obviously some time hopefully passes.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see him get like, because now he's a foundling. It'd be cool to see him getting a little bit like a Mando style to his design. Probably won't happen. That'd be pretty cool.
They'll keep the little baby robe on him.
Most likely. But what I really want to see from like when the Mandalorian drops, because basically out of everything that we've got going on, Mandalorian's the only thing I really care about at the minute.
Besides the Obi-Wan series, but that's going to be a few years down the line.
Besides the Obi-Wan series, but the thing is, the Obi-Wan series is going to be so good. It's let's just focus on one thing. And
anything Ewan McGregor is in as Obi-Wan, it's going to be fun.
But like anything Kathleen Kennedy touches just dies. So I'm glad that she's not touching the Mandalorian.
Yeah, man. Yeah, apparent rumors were that they kept her off the set for season 2. We have no idea if that's true, but I honestly think that I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't let her within the state of where I live. I would lock down my country. I would overthrow my government to lock down my country so she could not enter this country. Because she's that. Oh my god, that's a video for another day. But for Mando, like. Do we know how many episodes we're getting with season 2 of Mando?
I think it's supposed to be 8, probably around the same length.
All right. So
hopefully we don't get a 25-minute finale like we got with Clone Wars, but we'll see.
Yeah, and hopefully don't we get a 4-episode story arc. But I think when it comes to Mandalorian, all I want it to do is I want it to build off what it's done and not try and like throw a bunch of new stuff at us. Okay, I don't mind like an episode with Boba Fett, okay? 2 episodes at the max. But the thing about Boba Fett is you can't just, he can't be a regular. He has to be something that pops up as like either an antagonist or like a helping hand or something like that. Because he's just a bounty hunter, right? He's not actually evil, just bounty hunter. So it'd be pretty cool to just like maybe shoot someone and like flies off and saves the Mandalorian or whatever. I don't know. It'd be pretty cool. When it comes to like Rex coming back, that's probably the thing I'm most excited for. Now, voice-wise, it will be a bit different because it's the actual face of Jango Fett and all the clones, popping back to play him. That'd be pretty cool. And him playing Boba Fett, possibly, that I'm perfectly fine with because technically he is Boba Fett. Yeah.
I just don't want him to take off the don't take off the helmet.
Take off the helmet, that's perfect because if you've actually seen what the guy who played Boba Fett in episode 6 looks like, he looks like a pedophile. He has massive jam jar glasses and a thick black mustache. That's not what you picture under the helmet of Boba Fett. But yeah, no, it's like the Kenobi stuff is hopefully gonna be good. It's hopefully gonna be Kenobi like fighting some crime syndicates or something like that. Like I think he did it in the comics, or like it's something that people made, which I haven't read, but I probably should look up and try and read. As for like Rex is always going to be a favorite of mine, so I doubt they could do any unless like they bring Rex back and he's just a senile old man. That'll probably ruin the character, but they can't ruin Rex for me. It's pretty good. Boba Fett's going to be the biggest thing that they have to deal with, but the fact that it's Dave Filoni and George Lucas actually doing this means it's not going to be
and Jon Favreau too.
Jon Favreau. It's not going to be stupid. Emperor Palpatine's back. How'd he come back? Clone Sith technology and stuff that nobody knew about.
Yeah, the Sith are like a galactic mystery. Nobody knows about them, but then casually 2 people in the Rise of Skywalker just happen to know about the Sith right off the top of their head.
Are we supposed to get to Exegol? Oh, we're going to fly through this giant red thing. Oh, really? Why? Why can't we just fly around the outside? We're not going to explain it. Deal with it. We won't be getting any of that stupid stuff that has happened in the past 3 movies. We'll be getting stuff that is, sticking to the Star Wars lore from the mind of George Lucas himself and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. So those 3 guys, as long as they don't like accidentally look away and Kathleen Kennedy runs in and writes something down and they go, right, let's film this.
Writes down the hashtag like the Force is female.
Yeah, no, it's like she runs in and she writes a whole like scene where Ahsoka comes back, she lifts up an entire planet, folds it inside out, kills a guy.
And then the Martez sisters, wait, what if the Martez sisters come back with
No, they're dead. by the time these
They got
take place,
executed in Order 66.
no,
Palpatine just said, "Screw it."
I killed him in Order 66. I don't ever want to see those Mortis sisters again. But yeah, like Kenobi is a big thing that they shouldn't try and do too much with. There is like stuff out there, and obviously, hopefully, it's got George. I can't remember who's doing this. Is it George Lucas doing this one?
The Kenobi series?
The Kenobi series.
No,
I
it's
can't remember.
being directed. I don't know who wrote the screenplay for it, but they did write a script and then they like changed it. But we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about it specifically.
Right.
But they the director for the whole series is Deborah Chow, the one who did episode 3 of the not the Clone Wars, of the Mandalorian, which was my second favorite. That's the one where Mando goes back to get Baby Yoda.
Oh,
So she
okay,
she did that one. She's a really
so it's gonna
really
be
good director. Yeah. It'll be good.
Hopefully, there's like no Emperor Kennedy like on the
Yeah.
sideline.
No, yeah, I think that out of all the directors from Mandalorian, for the one that them to pick to do the Obi-Wan series, she was definitely the best option. I think she was.
Yeah,
Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi's very
so.
good, but he's got other stuff going on, and he's doing his own movie, and now he's doing his own Star Wars movie. So they just gave it to Deborah Chow. I think she was the best choice.
Taika Waititi's doing a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, officially.
Do we know? Do we know what it's called?
No, but we don't know if it might be the 2022 movie. We have no idea. The 2022 movie basically right now is either going to be the Taika movie or the or Kevin Feige movie, because he wants to do one too apparently. But
I have just gone from flaccid to fully erect. That is going to be awesome. Oh god, Taika Waititi, when he gets his hands on stuff, makes good stuff.
Yeah, like episode 8 was fantastic.
When he walked into Marvel headquarters to like pitch them the Thor movie, all he did was take Thor footage and put it over the soundtrack to put it over the oh god, his immigrant song that he used in Thor Ragnarok.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's immigrant song, but yeah, that his pitch was literally just the immigrant song with like bits. So he does good stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. But with Mandalorian, all they have to do is just stick to what they've been doing so far.
Yeah.
Just don't have to change it. Obviously, they've got to come up with a new, because now I'm guessing it's going to be Mando trying to find Baby Yoda's kin and all that kind of stuff, or like keeping an eye on him. Well, so that's going to be cool. And obviously, the Empire is probably going to be trying to get Baby Yoda back.
Yeah.
So all they don't have to do is just be like, oh yeah, no, Baby Yoda's now got the power to move the entire galaxy 3 meters to the left.
And I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care about that. I think he'd be powerful enough to do that. It's not like Rey or Ahsoka doing it. But
oh god, no.
But yeah, so the Mandalorian season 2. I mean, I kind of disagree with really everything that you just said, Captain. My one fear is that I don't want them to throw, as much as I love to see all these other canon characters in there with little tidbit cameos, just make it for an episode or two. Don't make it for. The Mandalorian didn't have arcs like the Clone Wars did. It's kind of like every episode's its own little 20-minute or a little 30-minute movie basically, with its own little plot line, and there's no real like underlying arcs. There's underlying motifs and themes throughout the whole series, but there's no underlying arcs back and forth between episodes. So I like, maybe they could just do like a 2-episode arc with some of these characters. Have some sort of interactions with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Maybe Ahsoka gives some wisdom as to what to do with the child with Baby Yoda. I'm very happy to see all these characters in live action form. But I just don't want them to be Mando's new buddies and them all be one big group like traveling around the galaxy on the ship.
Like, I don't do what they did with the Ugnaught, where it was like, you pop and then he comes back a few episodes later and sadly dies. That's all we need to care about.
And then I just keep the same formula, because what everybody loves so much about The Mandalorian is that it feels the most like Star Wars that we've gotten since the original trilogy. I think that's the common belief, that it feels the most original, raw Star Wars material. Just with how they do the set and how everything looks so realistic and amazing, just how they get all that done without using. They don't use. I mean, they use CGI, but it's obviously much better than it was back in like the prequels. But I mean, it even just looks miles better than Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi. And
to say that they do it pretty much all inside of one room.
Yeah, because they have that docuseries on Disney Plus now. I've actually been watching. I think there's 3 episodes in, and they show it's about them making the show, and you see all those crazy clips of they actually did, like, they built all of Mando's ship, but then he's in front of this like massive like 360 like. He's in like this bubble. It's just insane how they do it. Yeah, it's insane how they do it. But yeah, I just want them to stick to the original formula, keep the characters that they created that we all know and love now. You got Cara Dune. Now we have the storyline with Gideon. Carl Weathers' character is escaping me right now. His name. Oh, Grief Karga. Grief Karga. And then Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune. Just keep those, the same few guys. Obviously, IG-11 is not there anymore, sadly. But just keep the same group of characters that we were with the last season. You want to keep building this storyline with these new characters and not just throw in cameos of other live action characters just for the fun of it. Obviously, this is Dave Filoni kind of getting, he wants some of his characters that he built so well in the animated forms to come in and be alive and a part of the live action series. So we'll see, and we'll get that in Mandalorian season 2. But all right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the Cassian Andor series. There really isn't that much to talk about other than that we have Diego Luna back. He played him in Rogue One. He's back. We know obviously it has to take place in between episodes 3 and 4 because he dies at the end of Rogue One. Spoilers if you haven't seen the movie from 2016.
It'll just be him going around killing people.
Yeah, because we see he's kind of ruthless. He's kind of rogue in Rogue One. So yeah, I mean, Captain, do you have any specific thoughts on what you think they can do with the series? Supposedly they're going to start filming it later this year, and we're going to get it next year in 2021. And they're doing this before Obi-Wan, so it better be good.
I don't know if you've ever seen I'm pretty sure it used to be a TV show, but they did a movie called The Man from U.N.C.L.E. You ever see that?
No, never heard of it.
It was a Cold War era spy film. The TV show was the kind of same thing, but it had its funniness, but it was quite serious. It was quite old-fashioned Cold War spy kind of stuff. Now, Cassian Andor is technically the same thing. Even though it's technically a warm war between the rebels and the Empire, still a little bit of cold stuff. More spy action instead of big ass battles because the rebellion's quite small, Empire's quite big, so there's a lot of spying going on. So I'd love to see a lot of spy
him just narrowly evading.
Yeah. Well, not even that. Like him, we need information on a guy who's building, TIE fighters for the Empire. So we're going to infiltrate his party, and we're going to, try and seduce his wife or something like that if he's got one, or his girlfriend. And fun stuff like that, where maybe Cassian's got a crew for an episode or something, and they have to pull off a heist or something like that. They're fun stuff that helps, that ties into how Cassian doing his, sometimes, just shooting his best mate in a whatever or anything like that, stuff like that, how it builds up to the resistance. Sorry, not the resistance, the rebellion actually becoming a full rebellion. That's what it has to do. The Cassian Andor thing has to be that. Can't be anything else, okay? It can't be a heavy metal Cassian Andor flying around the galaxy, rocking his head out with K2SO, dropping bombs on everything, and he's a spy. He's got to do spy stuff, okay? The only time, even in the movie Rogue One, he never does straight up combat, okay? He does spy stuff, and then when he has to shoot someone,
stealth,
he shoots someone. It's like all the other people that go around and blowing stuff up and shooting missiles at ATSTs and all that kind of stuff. All right, so he was a spy in the entire movie. He was a spy, so we need it as a spy. Now it would be pretty cool to see how they capture K2SO if they said it before his buddies with him and all that kind of stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, really, all I want to see is some good old-fashioned Star Wars spying with maybe 1 or 2 episodes where there's something major going on. Apart from that, if you try and make it something else, it's not going to work.
Yeah. The cat. I basically just what you said. Kind of see this rogue, rebel spy, gunslinger type character. Like you said, when he has to kill people, he has to kill people. Obviously, we can't really get Jin because they didn't know each other.
Exactly.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe something with Saw Gerrera in here. I don't know. Maybe
interesting.
What I was also just thinking as you were talking, depending on where this is in the timeline between the 2 episodes, one of my biggest wishes for a Disney Plus series, honestly, because the Obi-Wan thing is happening. I would choose 10 seasons of the Obi-Wan series before this. But if I could literally say to Disney one thing that I want to see in a series or something on Disney Plus, I want to see some sort of sequel to Solo, because that movie left off on a cliffhanger, as if they were going to make another one.
And I'm supposed to be getting one.
I think that's supposed to that's an idea that they have in the works, because they're definitely not going to make a Solo 2 movie because of how it kind of flopped at the box office because of people who didn't like The Last Jedi, which I didn't like The Last Jedi, but I wasn't all right, I'm going to automatically hate Solo because I didn't like The Last Jedi. But a lot of people took that path. And It didn't do as well, but I think it's a fantastic movie. It left off on a cliffhanger. Now I was just thinking. I mean, the Cassian Andor series. I think it'd be kind of cool. Like I said, depending on where this takes place, he could somehow maybe get involved, like with like if they could somehow weave like Crimson Dawn with Kira and Darth Maul maybe into this series because it's in the same timeline. Maybe Cassian's doing some like like spy work or jobs or whatever. Maybe he has to like go and spy on this criminal syndicate and it's Crimson Dawn and we get some sort of like Maul stuff or some sort of with Kira or then maybe he somehow encounters Han or Chewie like somewhere. Obviously, Han or Chewie, I mean, they can't get involved in the rebellion because they don't know about it until later, like in Episode 4. I mean, I don't think that's likely, but that's the only thing I can think of other characters that Cassian could kind of interact with would be characters from that Solo movie, which obviously takes place during this, in the same time period. Because like that band that we got in Rogue One of the characters that sadly like I don't like Rogue One. I think it's a fantastic movie, but I just don't really I never really liked it that much. Like to be honest, I only remember Jin, Cassian, and K2SO's names. I don't remember any of the other characters' names. Like I don't remember the pilot, the one guy, the one
Bodhi.
Hawaiian guy who shoots the. There's the one Hawaiian guy who shoots the gun, and then there's the guy who the force is with me, and I don't like really remember any of their names. But Cassian can't
All
really.
I remember is Bodhi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cassian can't. I think he's the pilot, Bodhi.
yeah, Bodhi is the pilot.
Yeah, I can't. So I mean, I don't. There's not too many other characters that we could see Cassian interact with. I'm still a little like I don't know why out of all the characters that they could have chose to do a series, they picked Cassian Andor, but I guess it's kind of off the beaten path, outlandish. But I mean, they have a big task ahead of them with this being the second Disney Plus live action Star Wars series because it's supposed to come out next year, and all we would have gotten up to that point is 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, and everybody knows how amazing The Mandalorian is. So they have there's a really high bar that was set for this Cassian series. I believe it's already written. I don't know who's working on it, and they're supposed to start. I don't know like who's directing, who wrote it, whatnot. They're supposed to start filming this fall, I believe. But yeah, I mean, there's really I don't know where they're really going to go with the series, but we'll have to see. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I'd love a Solo like follow up series on Disney Plus or something. I think Alden Ehrenreich as Han. I think he did a really good job. I think he should come back as another in iterations of the character. And I think maybe if they could somehow weave them into the Cassian Andor series, even like just a Crimson Dawn aspect. Obviously, we know Dryden Voss is dead, but we have Maul and we have Kira, who is now kind of spearheading this operation. We don't know where they went, what happened to Maul in between this, Solo when he's the head of Crimson Dawn, and then, but the end of Rebels when he gets killed by Obi-Wan on Tatooine. But yes, I mean that's really all for the Cassian Andor series, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for here to discuss this next series, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which I just heard. And I don't know if this is true. I think it's true. But apparently the original draft for the Obi-Wan series had Obi-Wan only showing up in one episode in the series. I
How the hell does
don't
that even
but
work?
I don't know. Apparently I think initially it wasn't actually supposed to be a series about Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was supposed to be some series that he was in. And he was only supposed to be in one episode
Right.
apparently, and that's why they rewrote it and are delaying it. Which, if that's the case, thank God. But I mean, the only specifics that we know about this is obviously it takes place in between 3 and 4. We have Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan, who no matter what they do, no matter how bad the dialogue could be, no matter how bad the action could be, no matter like it could literally just be him walking around Mos Eisley going into cantinas, and just with Ewan McGregor playing him, we
Dude,
know it's
that'd
gonna
be
be
awesome.
amazing. We know it's gonna be amazing no matter what they do, just because of how good Ewan McGregor is, and everybody wants to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan. I mean, the dude's 50. People are saying, "Oh, he can't play Obi-Wan now. He's too
Yeah, the
old."
dude's 50, but
The dude's
he
50. Yeah,
looks
he
like
looks like
30.
he did in Revenge of the Sith. He just grows the beard out and gets the hairstyle, and he's there. And he sounds like a younger Alec Guinness. They before episode 1, I didn't even know this. They did speech lessons with him to make him sound like a young Alec Guinness. That's how
Yeah,
much
they
they just went
also
in with him on the character.
for episode 3, they perfectly took Ewan McGregor now and Ewan, well, not now, but when the movie was made, and Alec
Yeah,
Guinness, and like mashed their
yeah, Mash.
hairstyles together. So Obi-Wan's hairstyle was pretty damn close.
Yeah, I mean,
That's crazy.
yeah, just the commitment from him to this character, and everybody just loves him. And so I mean, there's another rumor that we've gotten about Hayden Christensen has reportedly been cast to have a role in this. the one thing that everybody's thinking about is obviously it's gonna be flashbacks because Obi-Wan just being alone on Tatooine, he's definitely got some mental craziness going on there. We know that because we see that in a little bit in episode 4. Like Uncle Owen just says, that man's an old wizard. And we see how much he's aged because everything just really, really took a toll on him. But he I mean, we don't know exactly what he's going to be doing, but the thing with Hayden Christensen being cast as Anakin, everybody's going to flashbacks. Something that I thought about, and Captain, I'll get your opinion on this in a second. And something that I thought about, which I actually saw online, which I think would be incredible, is how in Episode 9 we got that memory of Han with Kylo.
Yeah.
I think it would be absolutely insane if Obi-Wan's just sitting there, like in his house on Tatooine, sitting there somewhere, and Anakin just kind of pops up as a memory, just kind of right in front of him or something, and he's talking to him. He's like, "What? You're just a memory." And
That'd be
then they
interesting.
have some sort of interaction, just like they had in Rise of Skywalker, because obviously that's a canon thing now. That's the thing, and he could literally just appear not as a Force ghost, just there. He's just a memory. It's just Hayden Christensen as
Yeah,
Anakin. And I would
let's stay
love
away
that,
from
to be
stuff like that.
completely honest. I would think that would be awesome. I may honestly prefer that to a flashback. Um, I don't know. And then maybe this Anakin, like this memory of Anakin, is like convincing him or saying something that they're still good. I don't know what they could do with it, but I just think that would be a really interesting take. Captain, do you have any thoughts on that?
I
Of
think the
what you
only,
think Hayden Christensen's role will be?
I think
Definitely
he's
flashbacks.
either going to be like, yeah, he's either going to be a flashback, or it's going to be like Darth Vader like reaching out into the Force but using the voice of Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, yeah, I
That
see.
would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'd like
But
to see some sort of force interaction between Vader and Obi-Wan in this.
it
Some
would
sort
be
of
it would
connection.
be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. I really don't know how they plan on taking Anakin, because by so it's probably like 10, let's say it's about 10 years after the end of episode 3. He's already super Darth Vader. Okay, he's already like
Yeah.
screwed. So I don't know how they do any of that.
But I mean, like Obi-Wan says, Anakin Skywalker died at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and he became Darth Vader, and then he was reborn in Episode 6. So who knows? So if he comes back as some sort of memory, I mean, this is the memory of Anakin. This isn't necessarily the memory of Darth Vader. So I mean, I don't know how they could do that. I just think that's a really interesting idea that, like I said, I saw online, and I think that'd be awesome if they have it like Han did with Ben in Rise of Skywalker. I just think that'd be a super cool take on it. But also the one thing that I just really want is Liam Neeson somehow back in this thing.
Yes.
But now everybody's saying Force Ghost, but the continuity issue with that is in the Mortis arc, he shows up as a Force Ghost. But that's because they're on Mortis and nothing works because everything's just weird and crazy in Mortis, and it's just way too powerful with the Force. But we know that Qui-Gon didn't complete his training to become a manifestation of the Force, but he just only his voice and his soul and his mind survived, but we can't see if we see a Force ghost of him, it kind of has continuity issues because his whole deal in when we in that little arc in the Clone Wars when Yoda goes to Dagobah and Qui-Gon's talking to him is that Qui-Gon says, I didn't fully finish my training, my soul and my voice is still alive, but his physical manifestation of being a Force ghost, he was never able to fully accomplish that, and that's what he teaches Yoda and Obi-Wan. And obviously in the end of Revenge of the Sith, we have Yoda says to Obi-Wan, training I have for you to work on when you're in exile on Tatooine,
Yeah.
I spoke to an old friend. So obviously we know that somehow along the way Obi-Wan learned how to become more powerful than you could possibly imagine, like he says in episode 4. So he's going to have to have talked to Qui-Gon during this time. I mean, if we get him as a Force Ghost, it'd be kind of a continuity issue. I don't think too many people would realize or too many people would really care, except the diehard fans who nitpick at that stuff and it just doesn't make sense in the canon and
I
continuity.
wouldn't care, and
But
I'm a diehard fan.
yeah, I don't really think I would care that much either. But I just we definitely have to get his voice or something. We have to get Liam Neeson
Yeah,
in
it
here
would be
somehow.
cool.
And then another thing that I also apparently Obi-Wan has I think it's in a book or a comic. I don't know if it's Legends or canon now, but it's probably Legends because it's about Obi-Wan in between 3 and 4. He has Qui-Gon's lightsaber in his little house. he has it there, which I think that's a
That's pretty
cool little
cool.
unique thing that maybe that could be like a little tidbit prop that they kind of just throw in the background of his house, and like, it's a little Easter egg that people would have to realize. But yes, I mean, the Obi-Wan series, we're supposed to be getting it next year. I mean, like we said a few times, literally no matter what they do with this thing, with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, it's just gonna be amazing to see. And every fan's gonna love this. So Captain, do you have anything else to touch on with the Obi-Wan series? Oh, actually, I almost forgot about this. The one rumor, I think it was from Disney or somebody, I don't know where the rumor is, but apparently there's supposed to be the return in the Kenobi series of a famous mechanical co-star of Obi-Wan's. So obviously mechanical like co-star. So apparently the three things that everybody's looking at obviously is Darth Maul, because he is now mechanical. Darth Vader,
Yeah.
because now he's more machine now than man. So like we said, that could be kind of them reaching out with the Force together, whatnot. Um, and then obviously like Grievous, but we can't really. I mean, we
No, 'cause he's
can't see.
dead.
Yeah, we can't. Grievous, he's a pile of metal. Although I mean, if they somehow brought him back, I mean, we don't have to know how. That'd
Well,
just
they
be
could,
pretty.
because in the extended universe, Grievous's body was used to create a bunch of different people. So
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even know that. Um, but I mean that would be kind of fun. That would just be a meme pile right there. That'd just be the
Hmm.
ultimate prequel memer pile if they had Grievous somehow in here. But yeah, I mean the thing with Dark. See, the thing is that I don't really know what that's hinting at because I
It's
mean,
probably hinting at R2 or C3PO.
yeah, I guess that. Yeah, I don't know how that would. Yeah, I don't know how that would. Maybe R2. I could see it being R2 because R2 obviously never has his memory wipes, and he's been known one to like keep secrets. So like
Yep.
we don't like he's not gonna say to C3PO, "Do you not remember Obi-Wan Kenobi? He was Anakin Skywalker's Matt." You know what I mean? He's not
Dude,
gonna
you
say,
were with him for
yeah,
3 movies.
yeah. Do you remember? Like he's not like R2 doesn't say that. And like I think I talked about this like because I last show when I said R2's my favorite character, and I was talking about how the uniqueness that he knows all this stuff and hides it from people. Like I think there's an extended universe or legends like plot line in a book or something where Luke literally searches R2's memory bank like for information about his father, because then he found out that R2 was with Anakin, and then he searched, and R2 just like was protecting Luke from like the knowledge of what the
Yeah.
horrific things that his father did when he turned to the dark side, because he was there on R2 was there on Mustafar, and R2 like knew about like the Jedi Temple and him going in the Jedi Temple or whatever. So R2 has knowledge of all that, and he just hides that. So I think that would make sense if he sees Obi-Wan, because that wouldn't really be any continuity issue. Because we know that Obi-Wan's pretending not to know R2, because like I mean R2 like acts as if he knows Obi-Wan in A New Hope, which we know he does. But Obi-Wan saying that he doesn't remember owning a droid because he doesn't want to reveal that to Luke. And then also in the canon novelization of A New Hope, which was released back in the I think it was back in the late 70s, right after the movie came out, a few years after the movie came out. It there's a line where Obi-Wan turns to R2 and says, "It's good to see you again, old friend." So obviously he does remember R2. He's just hiding that fact from Luke. But I mean, yeah, that could be an option. I just think Grievous, yeah, like we said, Grievous is dead. They can't do that. But with Maul or Vader, I mean, I think it would be a continuity issue because Maul's whole reason of being in Rebels is finding Obi-Wan. And if he found him like a couple years before that, it wouldn't really make any sense
Yeah.
because he knew he would be on set. Like I don't know how that would work. And then like Vader, I mean, because in Episode 4, it's like they haven't seen each other since Revenge of the Sith. Um, I don't know. I mean, if they
Yeah.
had
They're gonna
somehow an
have to.
encounter, yeah, if they had somehow an encounter, casual fans would be like, "Oh, that's awesome." But as a, I mean, like fans like us, to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily like it because I think it ruins the impact of that like meeting
Yeah, it takes away from
on the
something
Death Star.
else.
Yeah, it takes away from that. So but yeah, so that's really it for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. We have two more little news tidbits to touch on before we wrap up here. So apparently, there's also a confirmation of a female-centric Star Wars series. That was confirmed by Disney. And then there are also rumors that the reason why Ahsoka is showing up in The Mandalorian is to set up an Ahsoka live-action series.
That would be interesting.
So now people are linking the two rumors, the confirmed rumor about the female-centric series, and then the rumors about an Ahsoka series, and they would kind of obviously go hand in hand. First learning about this, the idea of a female-centric series, like people make it like such like a polarizing issue. I don't care if the main character is a girl. Like the main character throughout the whole sequel trilogy was Rey. I like a lot of people don't like her as a character. I
Oh
think I
god,
think
yeah.
she's a Mary Sue and overpowered and stuff. But I still like her as a character overall. I don't care if the character is a girl, but there's no reason to say this is a female centric series as if like that's like such like a big massive deal. Like okay, yeah, the main character is a girl, so then we're getting a but to
Yeah,
say that it's designed about female centric and
it's
all
really
female,
only a
it's just
big deal.
ridiculous. It,
Yeah,
it
it's really only a big deal if like the everybody in it's like spouting political shit.
yeah, yeah.
That's the only time it becomes a big deal. If they
Yeah.
do what they did with Batwoman, where like she literally just steals everything Batman has and says it's only better when it's on a woman. If they do
Yeah.
that kind of political shit, it's going to go downhill.
Yeah,
Funnily enough, Batwoman did.
yeah.
Batwoman has
Yeah.
failed immensely, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and like just females, like nobody really cares about the gender of the main character. Just say it's a Star Wars series and tell us who the main character is. If the main character is a girl and it's about this girl, who cares? Like nobody really cares.
Yeah,
There's no
as long
reason
as
to.
it's good.
Yeah, there's no reason to say that. Because there could be a character, but like the Cassian Andor series could be complete garbage. He's a man. Does that mean like he has man? It's ridiculous. But
Yeah,
so
as
then
long as
the
it's good,
Ahsoka,
no one will
yeah,
care.
nobody will care. And so then the Ahsoka rumors make me feel a lot better because I was waiting for them to create this new female character who's just like all of a sudden like the most powerful pilot. I mean, the greatest pilot, the most powerful fighter in the galaxy, and whatever the heck they could do with that. But I'm very happy if it would be an Ahsoka series. I still am not necessarily a massive fan of like having like live action Ahsoka all over the place, but she really is one of my favorite characters in the whole series. I wouldn't mind seeing a live action show about her, and especially if it is this female centric series, I'd much rather have it be an Ahsoka series than about like a new character and
Yes.
whatnot. So, Captain, you have any thoughts on this series and if it's an Ahsoka series and what they can kind of do with this?
If it's an Ahsoka series, it will most likely have people in it that we've seen in other stuff. So it'll most likely have some of the Mandalorian stuff in it, like maybe Sabine or whatever. It might even have a bit of Rebel stuff in it, like we might get a live action Hera or something like that. Who knows? If it's not, and it's just a bunch of random females all thrown together, they're gonna have to be very careful how they set it up.
Yeah.
Because if they literally are just like it's a bunch of women and we don't have any proper information on who they are or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
then it's gonna have problems drawing in an audience.
Yeah.
Because if we don't like with Kenobi, we know who Kenobi is. With the
Yeah.
Mandalorian, we knew what a Mandalorian was.
Yes,
we already had that backstory.
and then there was a unique mystery about who this specific guy who calls himself the Mandalorian is and whatnot.
Yeah.
This stuff that makes you want to watch the show.
But if you just like it's like 4 or 5 women flying around the galaxy solving crimes or something like that, and there is literally nothing. There is no incentive for people like me to watch it because we'll watch like 1 or 2 episodes and go, all right, okay, yeah, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah.
But if we've got nothing to connect to, then we've got nothing to stay on for. So why would we? Instead of if it was an Ahsoka-driven thing with people from Ahsoka's past that we knew about it, then we've got something to do because we know who Ahsoka is, we know who these people are. We've got an incentive. But if it's just 4 or 5 random women who, there will be one of them that is like, look at me, I'm so great. That it's impossible for it to not happen in this day and age.
Yeah.
Unless someone is actually like, yeah, we don't need that crap because none of that crap it's pointless. It does nothing. It kills TV shows.
Yeah.
If someone realizes that and is like, right, okay, then then the TV show will probably be good. But I'm going to take this one with I'm going to be 50-50 this one. If it's an Ahsoka-centric series that is being set up through the Mandalorian and stuff, that's good. Okay, because we get some, and we might have a bit of crossover and all that kind of stuff. It's not. And it's just 3-4 random people, then I've got no incentive to watch it. I have nothing to cling on to as a fan, so I'll probably watch 1 or 2 episodes.
If their pitch is that it's about women, then that's not really going to hook people in. There has to be some sort of like good character development, good storyline, whatnot.
The Mandalorian, you pitch the Mandalorian, it's like, it's about a bounty hunter, and it's like, right, okay, bounty hunter's cool because people shoot stuff, and it's like, all right. But if you just walk in and go, it's about women,
Think about it.
It's like,
Yeah,
right, what are they doing?
yeah. Yeah, think about it. The Mandalorian, all we knew about that show was that, oh, yeah, it's about this bounty hunter called the Mandalorian. We got the trailers, we got some of the footage because they kept Baby Yoda from us. And we had no idea. I mean, I was expecting
Exactly.
8 episodes of this ruthless bounty hunter going around killing people, doing crazy jobs. But literally at the end of the first episode, we have this ruthless bounty hunter who all of a sudden has a heart for just a little child that he doesn't want to kill
And
and
that's how
doesn't
you
want to
do
give
a
away.
character.
And for the rest of this thing, he's completely changed. And the whole entire season's about a character that we didn't even know about until that first episode. Had no clue that they existed. And we had no clue where the whole season was going. And then it just made it that much more polarizing, that much more interesting to get, to watch.
Yeah, what we don't want is we don't want what we got with the Montez sisters, which
Yeah.
is I've never flown in my life, yet
but
I'm the greatest
I'm the greatest
pilot in the galaxy.
Yeah.
We don't want that because that was nothing. That was 4 episodes of us just be like, why are we dealing with these people?
Yeah.
Why did we have an entire episode where they got arrested, thrown in jail, and then put back in the same jail at the end?
Yeah.
That's not an episode.
Useless.
So we don't want that. We don't want it. I don't. If okay, because we do this podcast, of course we will watch the episodes when they come
Yeah,
out.
definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the show no matter what. But yeah,
I don't want to have to come and do a podcast and sit down and go, oh yeah, remember like 2 years ago when I said that we'll probably get an episode where someone walks in and is like, I'm a woman, so I'm fucking amazing. I don't want to have to come and sit and do this podcast and go, oh yeah, no, she just explained that she was a really good pilot because she's a woman, and pilot, that's what I am. Like that's not a character arc. That's not even a character like plot point. Okay, that's nothing. That's just I'm a woman, therefore I good. That's what so many TV shows have tried and failed doing. So maybe they'll learn. Maybe they won't. Hopefully, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't get involved with it.
Yeah, because if she gets involved, we know where that's going.
No, if it's an Ahsoka thing, I've got a hook. I've got something to watch onto. It'll be awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
if Ahsoka's in it, judging on how Rosario Dawson does, I hope it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so then the last thing, I basically just agree with really everything that you said. The last thing that we're going to touch on before we wrap up is, so there's rumors, I mean, there's just complete rumors, we have no idea. There's also rumors that it could be coming like this fall already, that they already kind of worked on it without like letting anybody know, that there's a Rebel spin-off series with the Clone Wars animation style. So the rumors are that basically there's going to be one episode in The Mandalorian Season 2 that has all these Rebels characters, Ahsoka, Rex, Sabine, and Bo-Katan, and that there's gonna be like one episode where they're all in, and that whole episode is setting up their new adventure, which is gonna be a Rebel spin-off series, which is gonna take place, I guess, right the same time as The Mandalorian, like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and obviously they're gonna be going and searching for, Ezra and Thrawn, and that'll be kind of the whole motif to wrap up that Rebel series, and it's supposed to be with the Clone Wars animation style, thank God, because I really don't like the Rebel style, it's just way too kiddie and childish. Really?
I didn't mind it.
I just like the Clone Wars one a lot better, I think.
No, I prefer the Clone ones, but like because there was 2 different art styles, you couldn't watch an episode if Rebels was done in the Clone Wars art style. You couldn't like just see a screen grab and go, "Oh, that's the Clone Wars."
Yeah.
It differentiates them, so it's pretty good. But I just had a thought: if in an episode of The Mandalorian we get all these Rebels and they've popped onto the planet going, "Yeah, we're looking for Ezra." And then, that kicks off the new TV show. How cool would it be to have the Mandalorian pop up in the animated TV show?
That would be pretty cool. Kind of a nice little trade off there. That would be pretty cool. I like that idea actually. So with this Rebel spinoff, I like where they could go with this. I think that it would be a good move to have them in like one episode of The Mandalorian, like the rumored to be, and that one episode that's kind of in that one episode it sets up this next series, and then we'll just see where they go with the series, and they obviously have a mission to go find Ezra, that could just be, and they could just take this and extend that Rebel series into into the future, and maybe we could end up getting the actual death of Ahsoka or the final look at some of those characters. Who knows? And so we jam-packed episode today. A lot of Disney Plus news. And before we wrap it up, Kat, is there anything else you just want to touch on, wrap up before we finish up?
Yeah, if that animated series is let's go search for Ezra. Hopefully we get Thrawn. Hopefully Thrawn comes back.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's not how in the canon and stuff. That's not how Thrawn goes out.
Yeah.
He actually comes back and rejoins the Empire and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. And he disappears off to the edge of the galaxy and has, it creates his entire new. So I'd love to see Thrawn like actually get like a little cameo or something like that.
Yeah, maybe
Also,
or maybe Thrawn
a
has like
live
some
action
sort.
Thrawn.
Yeah, or
Live
maybe
action Thrawn would be cool.
yeah, maybe he has like some sort of like influence in like kind of the upbringing, the creation of the First Order, something like
Hmm.
that. Who knows? But yeah. So that pretty much does it for today's episode. Yes, we brought you guys a lot of cool Disney Plus news today. And yeah, so we will see you all next Monday.
See you in a bit.